Have you ever wondered how Jujutsu Kaisen might have changed if Gojo never got sealed in Season 2? Realistically, there are two main ways he could have avoided this, and this is if he abandoned his humanity. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, during Season 2, the only reason Gojo got captured is because when he was fighting against the curses, he was very aware that he didn't want to hurt the people around him. He held back the entire fight. He mainly restricted himself to, physical punches and stuff like that. And even his domain expansion itself, it was very quick. It didn't really do much damage to the cursed spirits. The only reason Gojo acted in this way is because he still had his humanity, like he was still prioritizing the lives of the people around him. Now what I'm saying is, there is a chance that for the greater good, Gojo might have been willing in this specific circumstance to abandon his humanity and just activate a full domain expansion. If Gojo had done a complete and full domain expansion, it would have fried the brains of every single human on the train platform, but what it also would have done is fried the brains of Mahito, Jogo, Chozo. It would have destroyed them, like they wouldn't have come back from that. Now, importantly, if Gojo goes this far, it would be the end of Mahito, and without Mahito, Kenjaku no longer has access to idol transfiguration. He has no way to begin the first stage of his culling game plan. Now, with that being the case, there are two things Kenjaku can do. On one hand, there is still a good chance that he tries to seal Gojo just to get it out of the way, but on the other hand, there is also the possibility that he runs away. In a second, we're going to examine both of these possibilities and see what could happen next, and I'm going to start with the option where he tries to seal Gojo. What would happen if, even with Mahito being dead and all the cursed spirits, what would happen if he still tried to seal Gojo? In my opinion, having just killed all of the people on the train platform, I think Gojo would be in a worse mental state than he was in the main anime, and this would make him very vulnerable to being captured. But it comes with a big difference. The big difference in this scenario is that even if Gojo is captured, the sorcerers who were in Shibuya, they can reach the train platform incredibly quickly. They won't have Mahito in their way, they won't have Dagon in their way. There's not going to really be any big threat to stop the main sorcerers from reaching that train platform. In this way, the sorcerers can fulfill Mechamaru's plan, because if you remember, Mechamaru wanted all of the sorcerers to attack the train platform from all different directions, and that never happened because, the sorcerers kept dying. So if there are no disaster curses, then they can actually do Mechamaru's plan and attack Kenjaku from all those different directions. The question then becomes, if the sorcerers do make it to the train platform when Kenjaku was there waiting for the prison realm to process Gojo, who would win? Like, what would happen? Personally, I think, yes, the odds still are in Kenjaku's favor, because if we think about it, the strongest sorcerers in Shibuya at the time were probably Naobito Zenin, Nanami, Yuji, Megumi. I guess you could maybe count Todo. Let's just say he shows up early and be generous. If he does appear, then they have a decent chance. They could do it. And we also should factor in that Toji might want to fight Kenjaku, because let's be real, if Gojo is sealed, Granny Ogami's still going to do the exact same thing, and Toji's still going to go crazy. So given that Kenjaku is the strongest person in Shibuya, there's a good chance that Toji shows up as well and tries to fight Kenjaku. Now, if Toji is involved, and Naobito and Nanami and Yuji and Megumi, if everyone is involved like that against Kenjaku, then yes, I think there's like a 51% chance that they win, especially with Toji. He's very important. Without Toji, I'm going to be real, I think Kenjaku would actually still probably win. It's not even about him being the best sorcerer. It's not even about him being the master of barrier techniques. No, he can just overwhelm them with sheer numbers. But I think they could get the prison realm back if Toji is there. Now, flashing back to just after Gojo activated his domain, we know that nearby Kenjaku is watching the whole thing, and let's just say that Kenjaku tries to play it safe and he decides not to use the prison realm. He thinks it's too risky, Gojo is too bloodlusted, and he decides to just run away, save the prison realm for another time. Now, in this scenario, the Shibuya incident would pretty much end with minimal sorcerer deaths. I mean, at the very least, Nanami would survive because, Mahito's dead. Nobara doesn't get destroyed. Todo gets to keep his hand. Naobito Zenin also doesn't die, and Sukuna doesn't take control of Yuji. Now, by Sukuna not taking control of Yuji, this means that 1,000+ civilians would have been saved in the area because there's no crazy Sukuna Mahoraga fight, there's no domain expansion, so a lot of lives would be saved by this happening. However, something that we shouldn't forget is that even if the fake Geto runs away and has no contact with Gojo or any of the other sorcerers, Gojo still knew that there was a sorcerer behind this attack. He still knew that there was a curse user. with the knowledge that the curses were working with a human, I think it's very likely that they do a thorough investigation after Shibuya, and who knows, he might even find Geto's residuals. It's possible that even if Geto didn't use his technique, it's possible that the Six Eyes might pick up on something, on some curse energy left behind that would indicate that Geto is still alive. If Gojo was to find this, it could definitely lead to a manhunt for the fake Geto. And like I said before, it's very likely that Kenjaku flees the country if things get too hot, because he is smart like that. He is very pragmatic, and that's how he survived for 1,000+ years, just knowing when to attack and also knowing when to run away. Also, with Mahito being dead, it's a fact that Kenjaku still has to wait for Mahito to be reborn, and during that time he can get up to a bunch of different things, but he can't get away from that one fact that until Mahito gets reborn, the Culling Games isn't gonna happen. I actually thought it was pretty interesting how in the intro for season 2, we see the ancient versions of the disaster curses. Like, these guys have probably been born and died and reborn so many different times, and that's probably how Kenjaku knew about them in the first place. He's probably known them in their past lives. And so, you know, him waiting for Mahito to be born again, he knows it's a sure thing. He knows it's gonna happen. And when it does, that's when he'll begin his plans. On screen now should be similar videos to this, you know, videos about alternate timelines and stuff like that. So check those out if you're new to the channel, or even if you're old to the channel, doesn't matter. And until the next one, peace out.